Let's talk about challenging assumptions. This is a really cool topic, particularly because I just had an incredible experience with this. I just finished a 4-day fast, and it totally changed my outlook on this subject. What I mean by challenging assumptions is we have so much in our life where we are led to believe it because someone told us that it was true, or because society told us it was true, or one of our peers, or we heard it down the grapevine and we just accepted it. And one of those things for me was like I had to eat food every day, or I had to eat food to survive. And ultimately, that is true. I'm pretty certain that if I don't eat food, I will eventually die. But setting up this fast, I realized that not only could I could go without food for a really long time, and I felt like I could have gone much longer, but I also could do it while having better clarity of mind. I had more energy than when I was eating food, and I did it completely painlessly. And the way I did it was I just did a couple of supplements, and I'm going to do a separate video about this, that made it way better and way easier to fast than the last couple of times I tried. And I sat back after that, and the biggest realization I had was like, whoa, what else is this true for? How many things in my life have I taken for granted, or have I just accepted are true, and then they actually didn't end up being that? And how many things have I just left to my own assumptions, and I haven't actually tried them out and done something and made them happen? And I realized that there may be these things for like fitness, there may be things for how my body tolerates pain and suffering and hot and cold. Maybe I can take cold showers every single day and I'll have more energy, or maybe I can eat certain foods and I'll have more energy. And I realized that one thing we've lost in this age of information, where we're getting bombarded by 7 tips to lead a healthy life, the 7 benefits of doing this, number 4 will surprise you. We lost our ability to intuitively experiment ourselves and see if it works for us. And the human body and the mind is so different from one another that there's not necessarily one size fits all. We can generally agree on some things, like salad is good for everybody and exercise is good for everybody, but there's a lot of subjectivity in those things. Maybe a particular type of salad is not good for you. Maybe salad with tons of dressing is not good for you. Maybe a type of exercise doesn't work well with your body. So what I'm trying to encourage from this is to challenge every assumption that you have about how you live, and to start asking yourself questions like, wait a minute, why do I think this? Is this really true? Is this really going to cause me the pain and suffering? Or is this really something that is going to be so difficult? Is this really going to be hard? Starting a business and 99% of businesses fail, is it really so difficult to do that? Am I in a position where I could do that better than other people? Am I just not thinking about it right? Am I letting other people dictate my story and dictate my narrative? There's a Stoic philosophy. Stoicism is an ancient Roman belief system. And there's a part of the philosophy that's called, is this the condition that I so feared? And it's actually a belief test that Stoics used to do. They used to dress up in like ridiculous clothes, and they would go out into the middle of the town square so they could be deliberately humiliated. And they would used to go on these really long fasts, and they would do these things that seemingly would make them very uncomfortable. And then they would look back on that circumstance and they would be like, is this the condition that I so feared? And that is exactly what happened to me with the fasting story. It was so interesting. I always thought like, well, if I'm not eating food, I'm not going to have enough energy to exercise. I'm not going to have enough energy to run my business. So that was really scary for me. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to run the company, and I'm not going to be able to have meetings with people, and I'm not going to be able to go to yoga, which I love doing, and I'm going to waste away. And I realized the truth was that I was able to run the company probably better than I have in a long time. I was able to go to yoga without any problems. I had great exercise. I felt like I had more energy. If anything, I was struggling to get to sleep at night because it was so difficult with all the energy I had. And I realized that my assumptions just went out the window. Everything that I had assumed about what fasting was like was wrong. And I realized at the end of it, I said, is this the condition I so feared? Going back to that Stoic philosophy, is this really that scary? Not eating? Is it really that scary being hungry? You know, it's not that big of a deal. Is it really scary to not have that much money? Is that the worst that's going to happen to me? Can I still find happiness? Can I still be within myself? Can I still have my confidence and my spirit and my soul and my drive and my desire to do things and to be the best person, I can. That's not going to leave me. I don't need food for that. I don't need affirmation from other people. If I lose all my friendships, if I lose my job, if I lose this way of living, I have it pretty good right now. I get to buy things that I like, and I get to live in a nice house with a heater and an air conditioner when it gets hot and cold. I get to drink great tea, and I love that. And I get to be part of a great organization, but maybe that's all gone tomorrow. And am I really okay with that? Is that a condition that I fear? And when you put yourself in these deliberate, uncomfortable situations, when you talk to that person that you don't want to talk to, when you make that remark that you don't think anyone's going to respect, when you take that chance, what you're doing is you're training your mind to realize that, you know what? We have it pretty good. The problems that we have are not as big as we think they are. The more that you put yourself into an uncomfortable situation, you show yourself that on a macro level, like most of the stuff that we always worry about from a day-to-day basis, it's like it doesn't really matter. It's pretty crazy, actually. The human condition, all the way back to when we were hunter-gatherers, we're meant to suffer a lot, and we are meant to suffer through a lot. Life was not easy back then, and compared to the luxury that we have today, life was really, really hard. Now, it seems like all this luxury and all this extravagance has led us to not appreciate things. And so as a result, we don't have any respect for the things that go right in our life. And we just focus on the negativity, trying to create this artificial stress and suffering. To get above that, you ask yourself, is this the condition I so feared? And you put yourself through tests that make you uncomfortable. And at the end of the road, you see that these things aren't that big of a deal. Talking to that girl wasn't that big of a deal. Getting rejected wasn't that big of a deal. Asking for more money at your job, not that big of a deal. All those things culminate in moments that pass, and in a week or a month or a year, it's in the grand scheme of things, it just doesn't matter. It's not relevant. It's caused me to really rethink everything. This challenging of these assumptions. And I've realized that I can easily accomplish things that I thought were not possible before. And I can do things with the help of others that I probably didn't think was possible before. I'm going to turn this back on you now, and I want you to think about what are the things in your life that you just assume are true about your limitations? What are the things in your life that you think you can't challenge? And what are the things that you believe because your upbringing said so? Your parents taught you a certain way. Your friends tell you you're not good at this. You've always been bad at this. You've always thought that you were not going to ever become this. What are the things that make you think that way? And are they really based in reality? Do you really have a rational reason for thinking that way? And even if you do have a rational reason for it, and you get that condition, and that thing happens. You're not good at that thing. You don't get that job. You never make that income that you want to make. Is that life, are you okay with that life? Are you okay with just being all right with how things are and understanding that you've got it pretty good and that you are the keeper of your own soul and your own worry and your stress and your destiny, and that you can choose how happy and how sad you want to be moment to moment? Can you acknowledge that? And can you challenge yourself to realize what scares you and why it scares you, and to justify what you have and your beliefs, and to challenge them every day? You should do something that makes you uncomfortable every day. And it can be as easy as starting a conversation that you normally wouldn't. I think that's where most of you can start. It can be as easy as sending an email that you normally wouldn't. And it can be as easy as leaving a comment on YouTube that you normally wouldn't because you want to talk to me about this subject and tell me about some of the things that you are challenged by and that you have had assumptions about that you are now rethinking because of this video. Really do the deep due diligence. Take a little bit of time and just think about what you believe and why you believe it, and what could be different if you just challenged that assumption and did the opposite. Cool. So thanks for watching this video. Please do rate it and subscribe if you like it. It means a lot to me. Or like that page if you're watching on Facebook. Thanks, everybody. See you again for the next video.